Hello everyone. Welcome to another lesson. Today it is grammar lesson and the topic is complex subject. Remember complex object? I want you to do something. And complex subject is a bit different. Let's consider the examples. But first of all, I think I will give you a little bit of a notion. What are the usual phrases that are used in this construction that is called complex subject? So, for example, to be known, to be or do something. To be said, to be or do something. To believe, to be or do something. To report, to be or do something. To consider, to be, do something. To think, to be believed. I'm sorry. To be believed, to be reported. It's complex subject. To be reported, to be considered, and to be thought. to be or do something. So these are the phrases of complete subject. Now, of course, we will move to the examples with these phrases. Well, not the examples yet, because I think that I will give you it not in turn, but I will give you both sections just right now. So it can also be used as follows: to be likely, unlikely to do something. To be certain to do something. And to be sure to do something. So these are the examples. So this is the scheme, and here are the examples. Michael is known to be the kindest person of the college. Jim is said to teach languages in the easiest way possible to any kinds of students. Martha is believed to read to her kids in English, French, Italian, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese. Can was reported to be too busy to take part in the seminar. Next week. Dictionary is considered one of the best online dictionaries among foreign language learners. Peter is thought to know plenty of historical facts that are related to the present day world. Millie is very unlikely to refuse John's invitation to a volunteering educational event. Molly is likely to agree with anything that is connected with literature, sociology, and language learning. Bob is certain to teach you all the basics of English pronunciation in 3 days. Stan is sure to follow Jane wherever she goes. So these are the examples. I hope you really see how they correspond to the formulas. And now just let's consider the meaning of each sentence so that you clearly understand how this construction is used to express any idea. So the example, Michael is known to be the kindest person of the college. It means that people who know Michael in any way, maybe just knowing of his existence and never even conversing with him in any way or connecting or anything, Just they see him or they know that he exists in this college. So these are probably all people who are in the college, but maybe some outsiders have some chances of knowing him too. Anyways, uh, the phrase that Michael is known to be the kindest person of the college means that people or people who really know him in the slightest way. They think, they immediately think about his kindness. So they just know that he is kind, any of them. And so the other way of saying this thing is that they say, well, they know that Michael is the kindest person of the college. They say that Michael, they know that Michael is the kindest person of the college. So that's in this way we use active voice, but here you see that in a complex subject construction, passive voice is used. So this is the way of using this. The next example is Jim is said to teach languages in the easiest way possible to any kinds of students. So this is the simplest example. People who know him, they say that Jim teaches languages in the easiest way possible to any kinds of students. So this information can be learned from different people because they usually say this information, they state it. And so this is, for example, when we discuss something in the third person. Two people discuss the third person, but the third person is absent, does not participate in the conversation. But for example, one of people wants to learn languages, and the other person says, "Oh, Jim is said to teach languages in the easiest way possible to any kinds of students." Or the person can say, "Well, just uh, this person can say Jim can or Jim teaches. Oh, Jim teaches languages in the easiest way possible to any kinds of students." And so the first person who wants to learn languages, this person doesn't know John, and the person who states this fact knows the person. And so all people that are like this person, like the second person, they can behave in the same way, and they do. And well, uh, the people who are usually in the same place as the first person, they, after a period of time, can turn into people who pronounce exactly this statement. So Jim is said to teach languages in the easiest way possible to any kinds of student because they interact with various people of the second type, and so they have the impression already. They, for example, don't have any chance to see Jim directly because I don't know, maybe he's always at work, and maybe there can now be access uh, unless you are a member, and they don't want to become a member until they talk to several people who know about gym, and only then apply and join and continue with the process. And so this is why this situation goes like that. Of course, there can be other situations. I just gave you the example and explained it so that you understand how exactly this phrase works, how exactly it transmits the message. Now let's take the next situation. So mother is believed to read to her kids in English, French, Italian, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese. So what's this? Mother is believed to read to her kids in various languages. It means, let again, people who do not know mother closely, but still they know about mother's existence. By some reason, I don't know what might make them think so. Probably they probably they walked past her house when the windows were open and they heard various languages sounding, but the texts were really like bookish ones, not like spoken ones, for example, something like that. Or maybe they sounded childish, or maybe childish intonation, like, a woman might read a fairy tale, or something like that. So in this so that way they got this opinion, they got this belief, but we actually do not know whether or not it is true, because maybe the reason they heard this was very different, or maybe some different fact led them to this belief, and so so they this was maybe the misinterpretation of the fact, and so maybe she doesn't read to her kids in these many languages. Maybe she just practices reading aloud. Maybe she learns these languages, or maybe she really knows these languages and just enjoys it, or probably, I don't know, what else could she be doing. She could be, for example, recording herself and using these records for example, I don't know, teaching online, for example, right? There could be different variants, but these people, they believe that Martha reads to her kids in English, French, Italian, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese. This is what they think. Yes, and so you see how we use passive voice when we use complex subject, and you see how we use active voice when we speak about actually the people who believe. They believe. This is also possible to say, to transmit this information in this way, in active voice, using they. The next situation, Ken was reported to be too busy to take part in the seminar next week. So what's this? in this situation, there is a seminar, for example, and Ken is supposed to take part in it, either as a listener or as mm, as a speaker. This is not clear from this sentence, but what is particularly clear that people surely wait for him to appear at this seminar, and some people who know him this time very closely, so they just inform all the rest of the participants of the seminar that Ken is not going to appear on the day that the seminar will be held, because he has some other plans for this very time. And so those who have this impression, they share this information with each other, but they do not want to mention those who were the transmitters of the information. They don't want to give or say aloud their names of sort of the third persons that broke this sad news, for example. Because yes, it is very sad and it is very unpleasant that the person is not going to appear. And well, it is really interesting to think about it like this, so that the complex subject and passive voice is used to sort of reduce the bad effect that the bad news uh, have on the community that participates in this seminar, because it is of course always too bad when someone who was likely to join suddenly announces that he's not going to, actually, due to some other issues. This is really unpleasant. It feels bad. Even if it's plausible excuse, still it is a very unpleasant feeling when such thing happens. Then the next example, the much happier example than the previous one. So it goes like this: Wiktionary is considered one of the best online dictionaries amongst foreign language learners. So this is perfectly true. And here everything is perfectly clear, because you have the phrase among foreign language learners. So we perfectly understand that those who learn foreign languages consider Wiktionary one of the best online dictionaries in the world. So that's how it will sound in active voice. But here on the Jamboard, it's in passive voice and according to the rules of complex subject construction. Then, the next example. Peter is thought to know plenty of historical facts that are related to the present-day world. So what is it? Peter is thought to know plenty of historical facts that are related to the present-day world. What do we deal with here? So, there is Peter, and there are people who know Peter. But no one actually can look inside anybody's head, literally. It is impossible. This is why it is really very difficult to say who thinks what and who knows what. But sometimes people are apt to come to conclusions according to come to conclusions about someone's knowledge according to some things that they say or things that they do or probably just their job and how they deliver the lectures. And so this is what actually happens with Peter. He's either a student or a teacher, we don't know, and maybe neither, but in any case he does something that makes that make he does something that makes people who know him think of him as a person that is a well-known historian or a well-read historian. Sorry, not well-read. I just misspoken it. Yeah. So, and again, this might be a mistake. This might be true, but this might be a mistake because, as I said, it is really very difficult to know what someone else knows. And this is why these people, when they see, for example, someone new in their community, they can introduce Peter to them as the one about who they think that he knows plenty of historical facts that are related to the present day world. Like this. Alright, I hope that this situation is clear. Let's move on to the next one. And the next one goes as follows. Mele is very unlikely to refuse John's invitation to a volunteering educational event. So what do we have here? Here we have an event, and we have John Who invited? Millie? Well, not exactly invited. He wants, he intends to invite Millie, but he hasn't done it yet. So other people who know about both Millie and John and who know about the event also, they just discuss this matter with each other. And they think that when John, they are sure that John will invite Millie. Well, they actually know that John is going to invite Millie to the event. And they are perfectly sure that Millie is going to accept this invitation. Because, for example, they know how Millie thinks about the educational issue, how concerned she is about the educated society, and this is why they're perfectly sure that Millie will never refuse such an invitation to such kind of an event, especially from John, for example. Maybe they're almost engaged, already engaged, who knows? Or probably they are close friends. Anyways, I hope that this situation is perfectly clear, so let's move to the other situation. Molly is likely to agree with anything that is connected with literature, sociology, and language learning. Here, what do we have here? Here we have a something that we actually even do not know what it is. It might be a school or some teaching program or just anything. But this something is connected with the topics of literature, sociology, and language learning. The most likely it is teaching. And so when there are discussions about this topic, Molly is again so concerned about it that she agrees about the importance, about all the great things that are said mm, about these subdivisions, about these things. So she's sure about the process and she really loves participating in it. And for example, if likewise there is an event about literature, sociology, and language learning, she is sure to accept such kind of an event because here it is said that she is likely to agree. And this means that it is a very It means that we really can be very sure that she accepts the invitation to any webinar that is connected with these three topics, for example. All right, the next situation. Bob is certain to teach you all the basics of English pronunciation in 3 days. Bob is certain to teach. We can rephrase it like, certainly Bob will teach you all the basics of English pronunciation in 3 days. So here the speaker is really sure in this ability, in this prediction, and this is why he uses such construction. And the last situation, Stan is sure to follow Jane wherever she goes. Here is an example of love, such a love that goes hand in hand with devotion. And with such kinds of love, I think that it is really necessary to be a little bit careful, because the line is really subtle here, and this is why it is just like this. So Stan is sure to follow Jane wherever she goes. Again, Stan knows Jane, and he likes her, and so he will always follow her. He will always try and be together with her, because it is really very important for him. And others are sure about it, and this is why they put it like this: Stan is sure to follow Jane. And in the first situation too, Bob is certain to teach you. It means that the people are sure in this ability. People are sure that this will happen. This is how this is all. This is how this all is decoded. This is how this all is decoded. And so I really hope that these examples help you understand what is meant by the complex subject construction, and that it is used in passive voice with these phrases. And I really hope that the situations I've given you helped you to understand it better, and you will now be able to come up with your own examples about different situations when people can use complex subject. And of course I hope that you will use you will also use complex subject in your speech sometimes. And for now, all the best. Goodbye.